Hello, Richard Dodson here from tactfulselfpromotion.com. And I'm not going to give you a tip at this moment about how to promote yourself. I'm going to focus on how to actually do the stuff that you know you need to do. Because I assume you have some ideas in your head, some habits you could build, some things you could do differently that would really benefit your career. I mean, in our book, Power Your Career, The Art of Tactful Self-Promotion at Work, we cover just hundreds of little things that you could do that would benefit your career. But where we run into problems is people don't do them, right? You can think about, well, what could I do that would really help me if I did this on a regular basis? If I went to a meeting and at the beginning of the meeting, I raised my hand and asked a question every time, or I spoke. You'd show up in the meeting. There's lots of little tips like that, but you forget to do it. You don't build the habit. So I want to just talk a little bit about building habits. So here's what I've learned and what's helped me is I focus on micro habits or mini habits. Instead of putting that big ambitious plan together and something that I'm going to start eating completely differently today, or I'm going to start a new exercise program. It generally doesn't work, and now we know why, because brain research tells us there's a part of the brain that says, I like the status quo. It takes energy to think about and do all that other stuff. I don't see any reason why I should let you do it. So you put too ambitious an idea in your head, part of your brain thinks it's great, but the other part that actually, it's going to stop you. It's going to say, no, 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 stop it. I need to conserve energy. I'm not interested. So one way around this is to trick the brain. And follow me on this because it sounds kind of silly, but it really works. It's to set a micro habit or a mini habit. And that is such a small habit that the brain looks at it and goes, oh, I don't care. You can do that, right? The classic example would be do one push-up a day. Oh, that's stupid. You see, your brain says, oh, I could do that. I can do it right now. Lay down, do a push-up, I'm done. That's exactly the level of habit that you want to start. Because what that does is every day, if you do a habit like that, every day, you're building synapses in the brain. You're building connections in the brain and pathways in the brain that you exercise every day, that you get down and you do a push-up every day. So there is no excuse here. I mean, they have to be short enough that you can do them. Even if you crawl into bed at night and you're, oh shoot, I forgot to do my push-up. Well, roll out of bed, do the push-up, crawl into bed, and you're done. And what happens now, when I started doing my one push-up, I didn't just do one. I was like, well, I've done one, I might as well do two more, right? Yay. So it starts the habit, because starting things seems to be the biggest problem. So whatever your habit around health, if it's just put on your walking shoes and stand out in the front porch, and then you can walk back in, you've done your duty. But you really have to believe that, and don't get too ambitious. Don't say, well, now that I'm doing one every day, I'll do 5. Do 5 if you want, but keep the habit part to 1. It has to be simple to execute and easy to implement. So I gave the push-up example, but there are lots of others. Around eating, the habit often is, how do I stop? I want to eat less, right? So one of the habits would be to leave 5% of your food on the plate before you turn it in, before you take it into the kitchen. Because, and now it's like 3 beans and 2 pieces of rice and a half a piece of a bite of chicken. It's not that hard. It's like, well, that's not really going to give me any more pleasure. And your brain says, oh, what the heck? It just looks like waste on the plate. But the habit is, I can put some stuff aside and leave it and not eat it. So it begins to build the pathway that that's a habit of yours. It's something you do. If you're trying to work on sleep, and again, you notice I'm looking at all of just the personal resilience things, because that's a lot of the habits we need. Because if you don't have those in place, it's hard to do all the work and the things you need to do to move your career ahead. So if sleep's something, here's what I worked on. This is mine. I'm going to go put toothpaste on my toothbrush by 10 o'clock. I wasn't going to brush my teeth. I'm not going to commit to, because I might still want a snack. But it gets me in the mindset. I have to walk up the stairs. I got to get I'm starting to get ready for bed. And sometimes I will brush my teeth, and then I'm less likely to eat. I'm more likely to be ready for bed. So the benefits are huge, even though the action is very, very small. So I just love you to experiment with this. Make sure you pick things that really are, a no-brainer, that you could just do it. And the key to this is consistency. You just reminding yourself, put reminders, but do your one little thing or two, no more than 3 mini habits ever. No more. That's all you need. Just pick them carefully, give them a try, and let me know how it goes. I would love to hear what kinds of things you're creatively coming up with that are going to help you build the pathways and the habits that you can then start to have some big impact in your life. So let me know what you're working on.